friends and family, and welcome to our STEM event, Quest for Energy, in partnership with the North Carolina Science Festival. Your quest today, should you choose to accept it, is to explore the wonderful world of electricity. To start, you must know the basics of electricity. So I hope you filled out your worksheet that we gave to you. Do you know where electricity comes from? So many things we rely on today use electricity, but what is it? Electricity is energy. Just like our bodies need food to stay awake and running, so do the devices that we use every day. That energy is electricity. But where does it come from? This is the time to check your worksheet to see how far through the electricity chain you got. When you turn on a light bulb in your home, that electricity comes from somewhere. Where? In your house, that outlet is connected to a fuse box that's connected to a power line outside your home. That power line is connected to a substation because the electricity is too strong for your home at that point. From that substation, it goes from larger power lines back to a power plant. But that's not where this chain ends. You see, the power plant did not create the energy. It merely harnessed the energy from different materials such as natural gas, coal, and fossil fuels. Those materials were once animals and plants that lived a long time ago. Like us nowadays, their first source for energy is the sun, which helps grow food, and water, which helps nourishes the food, which gives us energy. Now, to appreciate electricity's awesome power, electricity's story started with a scientist named Thales in the year 600 BC. On a whim, he had a question: what would occur if he rubbed a piece of amber on a cat? I know it sounds weird, but something strange occurred. When he removed the amber from the cat, the fur actually reached out to try to touch the amber again. He had found static electricity. Static electricity is when you pull electrons from one item to another and they become still. An electron is the smallest part of an atom, and atoms make up everything. Of course, he thought it had something to do with the cat. So he and no one else worked on this strange occurrence for more than 2,000 years. We still must thank him, for the word electric comes from the Greek word electron, which means from amber. Finally, a man named Otto von Berg in the year 1660 started playing with static electricity. He created large machines called electric soirees that could generate a current. He found these were popular with the wealthy. For entertainment, they would shock each other. We know these best through their smaller cousin, the Van de Graaff generator. These devices could create a current which would attract objects to it or repel objects from it. These devices got more people talking about electricity and more people experimenting with it. This was the start of the era of Benjamin Franklin. Benjamin Franklin had a hypothesis that electricity and lightning were the same. Have you guys ever heard of a key, a kite, and a thunderstorm? He came up with this experiment to test that hypothesis, but he never tried it, because if he had, he wouldn't be around to tell us about it. Several other scientists came up with other options to test the hypothesis, and they found it was correct. Electricity and lightning were the same. Now, in the 1800s, 3 major events occurred that would change the future of electricity. The first major event started with Luigi Galvani and Alessandro Volta. They found that they could actually store electricity. With certain metals and acids, they found that they could harness energy and store it in something easily transportable. They made the first battery. The second major event that occurred was when a scientist named Michael Faraday found that electricity and magnetism were connected. He made the first electric motor with a battery, mercury, a strong magnet, and metal. The final and most important event in the history of electricity, can you guess it? It was the light bulb. Thomas Edison found that if you use copper wire, carbon filament, electric current, and an oxygen-free environment, that you could make light that was sustainable. That means lasted. It wouldn't burn out like a candle. Now the power of electricity had been realized and it has grown from there. Think about all the devices you have used today that have used electricity. We need to be thankful for the men and women that came before us with a question and changed the world. This concludes the basics of electricity. Now that electricity has grown and multiplied, we are seeking new ways to harness that energy. This will help make our lives and the lives that follow better, healthier. Today, we want our electricity, but we want a more efficient, better working energy option to leave our world in a great place for our next generation. That's you. Walk with me through this quest. Learn as much as you can about the energy options out there so that maybe one day you can be a next great inventor of energy. When you leave here, take your time, journey through the stations, from the problems we have to the renewable options available to the challenge. Try to answer all the questions you can. Then go outside for some hands-on activities, crafts, and games. I hope you enjoy this hair-raising journey through electricity.